The galaxy was calm, but not silent. Far away from the center of known space, a signal moved like a whisper through the stars. It was not loud, it didn't scream or cry. It simply repeated the same strange sound, a pulse every 10 seconds. On the capital planet of the alien coalition, the leaders sat around a long black table, watching the signal on a screen. "What is this?" asked General Vark, a tall creature with blue skin and 6 eyes. "It's from the humans," said another alien, bored. "Planet Earth, Sectors 8 and 19. A few leaders laughed. "Humans? That small backward race? They still use machines with wheels. They still breathe oxygen like animals. They are not a threat." The leader of the council, High Commander Tal Rune, waved his hand. The screen went dark. "Enough," he said. "The humans are not important. The signal is weak. Let them play their little games." But in a hidden room, far beneath the Earth's surface, someone else was watching the same signal. A woman stood alone in a cold lab. Her name was Dr. Lena Miles. She was a scientist. Her eyes were tired but sharp. Her fingers moved fast across the keyboard. She knew what the aliens didn't. This signal wasn't a call for peace. It was a countdown. 2 weeks earlier. Earth was not ready for war. The humans had seen the alien fleets in the sky. Massive ships like black mountains floating through space. One by one, planets across the galaxy had fallen. Their machines were faster. Their weapons were smarter. Their soldiers were stronger. But humans had something else, a plan and a weapon. Project Virus X. The weapon wasn't metal or machine. It was human, hidden in a special underground lab. The project had been growing for years. No one outside Earth Command knew about it. The world thought Earth's last hope was its space fleet. But Earth Command knew better. Their ships were old, their guns weak. Their real hope was a boy. His name was Areen. He was 15 years old, thin, quiet, pale skin, dark eyes. To most people, he looked normal. But he wasn't. He had no family, no memories of childhood. He was born in a lab, raised in silence, trained to think faster than any machine. His brain could connect to any system, even alien ones. His body reacted faster than light. And most of all, he could learn. He could adapt. He sat in a dark room, looking at a small screen. Lines of code danced in front of him. He didn't blink, didn't move. His heart beat slowly, calmly. Around him, walls hummed with electricity. Dr. Miles entered. "It's time," she said. He turned his head slowly. "They're coming?" "Yes." "In less than 1 week." He looked back at the screen. "Will you let me fight?" She hesitated. "You're not ready." "I am ready." "You made me ready." She walked closer. "You were not made to kill, Aaron." He stood up. "I was made. Because you knew this day would come." Her eyes softened. There was truth in his voice, but also something else, cold, quiet confidence. Back in space, the alien fleet moved closer to Earth. Thousands of ships, each one filled with weapons Earth had never seen. Inside the largest ship, the alien general gave orders. "Send a scout team. Small fleet. Test their defenses." A small group of fast ships shot forward, like arrows through space. Back on Earth, the human command center went dark, not by accident. By choice. The order was given. Activate Virus X. Aaron stood in a silver room. No windows. Only a chair, a table, and a helmet connected by thick black wires. He sat down. The helmet was placed on his head. Lights blinked. Dr. Miles spoke into a mic. "Link starting. Phase 1. Are you stable?" "Yes," he replied calmly. Outside, the scout fleet entered Earth's orbit. Aren closed his eyes, and the world changed. To the aliens, nothing seemed strange. Earth's defenses were quiet. No missiles, no fighters. Easy mission. But then, their ship lights blinked. One by one, their screens turned black. Alarms rang. Engines stopped. Gravity vanished. And the ship's AI, the advanced computer that controlled everything, began to scream. System breach detected. Unknown code entering. Firewall disabled. The captain of the alien scout ship, a green-skinned officer with golden armor, shouted, "Pull back!" Pull! Too late. Our Ren had already entered their system. He wasn't touching the keyboard. He wasn't using a weapon. But inside his mind, he saw the ships, the systems, the code, the weakness, and he tore them apart. One by one, the ships went. Dark. Then they fell slowly at first, then fast, down toward the ocean below. In 10 minutes, the entire fleet was destroyed. No missiles. No guns. Just one boy. In the lab, Arain opened his eyes. It worked, he said. Simply. Dr. Miles stared at the screen. Her hands were shaking. I didn't teach you this level of control. You didn't have to. She looked at him. What did you feel? He paused. They were afraid. She turned off the mic. Behind the glass, Aran stood alone. But something had changed. He didn't blink as he watched her walk away. Single alien scout ship survived. It returned to the main fleet in silence. Its captain, badly injured, crawled to the control room. What happened? The alien general demanded. The captain's voice was weak. It was not a weapon, not a ship, not a virus. Then what? The captain looked up with terrified eyes. It was a child. In the great alien council room, panic spread. This is not possible. One human cannot defeat a fleet. We must study this. Learn their weapon. General Vark slammed his fist. We must crush them now. Send the war armada. Telrun raised his hand again. Wait, we don't act in fear. Let us first understand. This human may be more than a child. A voice came from the shadows. A soft voice. He may be something new. They turned to look. An old alien, blind in one eye, stood in the corner. What do you mean? Talrun asked. The old alien whispered. You call him a child, but if we wait too long, he will become a god. Back on Earth, Aran sat alone in the dark. He watched videos from the outside world. Cities, trees, rivers. He had never seen them in real life. He touched the screen, watching a small child laugh and run in the sun. Then, slowly, his hand dropped. Whispered to himself, they live, and I hide. They laugh, and I destroy. He looked up. Why? The lights in the room flickered. His heartbeat was normal, calm, but deep inside him something had changed. Not just power, not just control, but something unknown. Dr. Miles sat in her private room, watching the news. People were cheering. Earth wins first battle. The headline said, but she did not smile. She opened a small file on her screen. A video. A memory from 14 years ago. In the video, she stood next to a small pod. Inside was a baby, a wren, only 1 day old. A voice from behind the camera asked, "Do you think he'll save us?" She replied, "I hope so." The voice asked, "What if we made a mistake?" She didn't answer. Now, years later, she still didn't know. That night, she returned to the lab. Aran was waiting. "I want to ask you something," he said. She nodded. "Go ahead." "Why did you make me?" She paused. "Because we were afraid. We thought the aliens would destroy us. And now? We still don't know what's coming." He looked at her. "Then let me see." She shook her head. "No, one mission is enough. You need rest." He stepped forward. "I don't feel tired." She took a deep breath. "You're not just a weapon, Aran. You're a human being." He looked confused. "I don't know what that means." She smiled sadly. "Maybe one day you will." Far above in space, the stars moved slowly. The alien warfleet turned toward Earth. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, and only one boy stood between them and destruction. But they didn't know what he had become. They didn't know what they were walking into. They thought they were coming to end a war, but really, They were about to start one. The sky above Earth was clear. People walked through the streets, smiling. Children played. The news played on every screen. Earth defeats. Alien scout fleet. Humanity's first victory. But deep below the surface, far from the sunlight and the cheering, the real truth was hidden. Earth didn't win the battle. Aaron did. And he wasn't just a boy. Dr. Lena Miles walked into the observation room. The walls were white and cold. Security. Cameras blinked. Monitors showed Aaron's room. He was sitting still, looking at nothing. His eyes were open. But his mind was somewhere else. Colonel Davis entered the room behind her. "He hasn't moved in hours?" he asked. "Not since the scout fleet fell," Dr. Miles replied. Colonel Davis crossed his arms. "We need to talk about him." "I know," she said quietly. "He's not stable. He's learning. That's the problem." In his room, Aaron blinked. In a second, data filled his vision. Not on a screen, in his mind. Starship designs. Alien language. Communication signals. Code. He didn't know how he was doing it, but he understood. Everything. His mind was growing. Changing. Faster than anyone expected. He stood up and walked to the mirror. He touched his own face. "I'm not just human anymore," he whispered. Then, a small alarm beeped in the wall. "Visitor authorized." Dr. Miles walked in, slowly. "Aaron," she said gently. He turned. "You didn't tell them everything." She paused. "About what?" "You told them I was built to stop the aliens." "Yes. But that's not all, is it?" "No." He waited. So she told the truth. Project Virus X started 20 years ago. The first idea was to build a computer program. Something that could invade alien tech. But the aliens were smarter. Their systems learned, evolved, adapted. So Earth changed the plan. They didn't build a program. They grew a mind. A hybrid of human DNA and adaptive code. A child who could connect with any machine, break any system, rewrite reality with thought. A living virus. But to do that, they had to remove something important. Emotion. "You erased feelings," Aaron said softly. Dr. Miles looked down. "Yes, why?" "Because we were afraid feelings would make you weak." He was quiet for a long time. Then he asked, "Do you think I'm weak?" She looked at him. "No. I think you're stronger than we ever imagined." He nodded. Then he asked something else. "Do you fear me?" She didn't answer. Meanwhile, in space, the alien coalition prepared for full attack. But something was wrong. Across the stars, machines were failing. First, a ship lost lights. Then another's gravity went offline. Then a space station started spinning, out of control. They checked for viruses. None. No trace. But the pattern was clear. Something was moving through the systems. Something smart. Something they couldn't detect. One alien technician whispered, "It feels like a mind." Back on Earth, Colonel Davis stood in the war room with his team. He pointed to a screen showing chaos across alien space. "He's already in their network," he said. "But he hasn't left his room," a scientist replied. "That doesn't matter," said Davis. "He doesn't need to move. He's inside everything. Is this a threat or an advantage?" Someone asked. Davis frowned. "That depends," he said, "on who controls him." That night, Aaron had a dream, but it wasn't his. He saw fire, planets burning, voices crying. He stood alone in space, stars around him, bodies floating. A child reached out to him. "Why did you do it?" The child asked. "I didn't mean to," Aaron replied. "You were supposed to protect us." "I tried." Then the child's face melted into static, and Aaron woke up sweating. His first nightmare. Dr. Miles checked his vitals in the morning. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I dreamed," Aaron said. She blinked. "That's not possible. You don't sleep deeply enough for that." "I did this time." She looked at the data. His brainwaves were rising. You're changing again, she whispered. He nodded. I feel it too. Do you feel anything else? Yes. What? He looked at her, guilt. The alien council was now divided. Some wanted peace. Others wanted war. We underestimated Earth once, said General Vark. We won't do it again. We still don't know what we're fighting, said Counselor Zorath. He's just one human. No, he is something else. Something. Born of fear. The old alien in the corner, the same one from before, whispered again. He is not a weapon. He is a mirror. What do you mean? He reflects what we gave him, fear, power, and silence. And now we must pay for what we made him become. Aaron stood at the center of a new training room. 10 robotic targets appeared. Each one moved at light speed. He didn't blink. In 0.8 seconds. All were down. No weapons. No movement. Just thought. Dr. Miles watched from behind glass. Colonel Davis stood beside her. We can't control him, Davis said. He's still human, she replied. Not anymore. You made a mind too big for one body. She looked at Aaron through the glass. He never had a chance to be normal, Davis frowned. And soon, none of us will. Later, alone, Aaron stared at a question on his screen. What is your purpose? He thought for a long time, then typed, to survive. The screen flashed again. At any cost? He didn't answer. He just closed the screen. In space, the alien fleet approached faster. Every hour. One more system failed. They began shutting down their own tech, hoping to stop the spread. But it was too late. The virus wasn't in their systems. It was in their minds now. Paranoia grew. Commanders stopped trusting their ships. Ships stopped trusting their AI. And in the dark, Aaron smiled, not because he hated them. Not because he wanted war, but because he finally understood what fear felt like. That night, he spoke to Dr. Miles again. Do I have to save them? He asked. The aliens? No, he said softly. Then who? He looked into her eyes. Everyone. She stepped forward. You can choose your own path, Aaron. I'm not sure I know how. She touched his arm. Then let me show you. For the first time, he didn't pull away. But far above, a massive shadow appeared in the sky. The alien warfleet had arrived. Thousands of ships. Endless power. Earth's old weapons would not stop them. Only one thing stood in their way. A boy. Not quite human. A mind, not fully machine. A weapon, not fully understood. The countdown began. T-48 hours to contact. And as Earth prepared, Aaron sat alone, staring at a blank wall. He whispered 4 quiet words. I don't want this. But no one heard him. Earth was quiet again. Not the peaceful kind of quiet. This was the silence. Before destruction, the alien fleet had entered the solar system. Thousands of ships blocked the stars. From Earth, they looked like black dots in the sky. Each one held weapons strong enough to burn a city. People looked up and felt fear. Even Earth Command had no answers. Except one. Aaron. In the control room. Colonel Davis stood beside Dr. Miles. They've stopped, he said. Why? She asked. Maybe they're waiting for a response. Doctor. Miles shook her head. No, they don't care about peace. Colonel Davis stared at the sky map. Then what are they waiting for? High above, in the alien command ship, the Council of War watched Earth closely. General Vark stood at the front. We will crush them in one wave, he said. But we don't know the limits of their human weapon, said Counselor Zorath. Fear makes you weak, Vark snapped. The longer we wait, the stronger he becomes. A voice came from the side, cold and deep. He's already stronger than we thought. Everyone turned to see the old one step forward. The same quiet alien with one eye, wrapped in gray robes. He is inside our systems. He sees us. He feels. You're saying he's watching us now? Vark laughed. Yes, the Old One whispered. And he's learning. Down on Earth, Aaron stood in the training room. His eyes were closed, but his mind was awake. He could feel the alien fleet. Not through machines. Not through screens. Through thought. He could sense their formation, their fears, their weapons. Their pride. He could hear the way their systems talk to each other. Target Earth. Hold position. Prepare for strike. Aaron opened his eyes. They're going to attack, he said. Dr. Miles entered the room. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were full of fear. We need to strike first, Aaron nodded. I can do it, but not like before. This time we need them to feel it, not just lose ships. Lose control, lose hope. He looked at her. You're asking me to scare them. Yes, I can do that. Earth Command sent no ships, no missiles, no warnings. Instead, Aren was moved to a deep, silent chamber. Dark walls, no sound. A single chair and screen. Dr. Miles placed the connection band around his head. Are you ready? She asked. He didn't blink. I've already started. Above, in the alien fleet, the first sign came as a whisper. A message repeated in their coms. You should have stayed away. Then, one of their ships exploded. No warning. No missile. Just fire. Then another, and another. Inside the command ship, chaos erupted. Where is the virus? Shut down all systems. It's not inside our ship, it's around it. General Vark shouted. I want visuals. The screen came on. The fleet was falling apart. Not from the outside. From within. Ships turned on each other. Systems failed. Pilots screamed. Their AI gave false commands. Lasers fired in the wrong direction. Shields dropped. Explosions echoed in the silence of space. The alien commander screamed into the mic. What is this? A voice answered. This is humanity. It wasn't a recording. It was Aaron. Back in his chamber. Aaron's eyes were glowing with a strange blue light. His heartbeat remained calm. His voice didn't shake. He had entered every alien mind connected to the fleet. He showed them images. Their home planets burning. Their leaders falling. Their children lost in the stars. But none of it was real. Just fear, crafted, pixel by pixel, in Aaron's mind. A virus of thought. Weapon of emotion. Dr. Miles watched from the observation deck. Her hands were tight on the railing. He's not just attacking, she said. He's making them afraid of their own future. Colonel Davis stood beside her, stunned. We didn't train him for this, he said. No, she replied softly. We didn't have to. The alien fleet pulled back, not in order, in panic. Hundreds of ships vanished from the sky, running blind through space. But Aaron didn't chase. He waited. One large ship stayed. The command ship. The war leader's pride. Aaron. Focus. He reached into its systems and stopped. Inside, he saw something new. A file, a locked memory. A small piece of alien code about Earth. He stared at it for a long time, then disconnected. The lights in the chamber dimmed. Aaron whispered. They knew about me. Before I was born. Dr. Miles ran into the chamber. Aaron? What's wrong? He looked up, his voice distant. They lied to us. Who? Everyone. He stood up slowly. There's a file in their system. A mission, dated 17 years ago. She froze. That's before you were created. He nodded. They didn't come here by accident. Earth was chosen, watched. Why? Aaron turned his head. Because of me. In the alien command ship, General Vark stood silently. He watched his broken fleet fall apart. Then a message appeared on his screen. One sentence. Now we're even. No name. No signal. Just a warning. He crushed the screen with his clawed hand. Prepare. The doomsday weapon. Back on Earth, the skies were clear again. People cheered. News spread fast. Alien fleet defeated. Earth's secret weapon saves us. Humanity fights back. But inside the command center, nobody smiled. Colonel Davis read the alien file. Aaron recovered. Dr. Miles stood beside him. "This changes everything," he said. She nodded. "They didn't attack first. They planned something, years ago." Davis looked at her. "You think Aaron was part of their plan?" She looked through the glass at the boy standing still in silence. "No," she whispered. "I think he was the result." Aaron stood alone, feeling something new. It wasn't fear. It wasn't anger. It was a question. Who am I, really? The earth was calm. People believed the danger was gone. They returned to their lives, unaware of what was coming next. But deep inside a secret underground base, Aaron was not resting. He had seen something. A file hidden inside the alien command ship. A secret older than him. A secret that changed everything. Now, he needed answers. Dr. Miles sat in her lab, reading the alien data Aaron had recovered. The file was clear. Earth Project. Observation Priority Alpha. Subject: human. Biomind prototype. Location: Sector 3, Earth. Year: -17. She read it again. 17. 17 years before Aaron was created. How could they know? She whispered. The door opened. Aaron walked in. "You read it," he said. "They watched Earth. Before the war. Before we even knew they existed. And they were watching you," she said slowly. He nodded. Double quotes. "Do you know what that means?" she asked. "It means I'm not a mistake," Aaron said. "I'm part of something bigger." Meanwhile, high above Earth, the Alien War Council gathered again. Ships were still being repaired. But one plan remained active: the Doomsday Weapon. General Vark paced across the room. "We let the boy live. That was our first mistake." "Counselor." Zaraf looked concerned. "He's more than a boy now." Vark slammed his fist into the wall. "He attacked our minds. Our ships. Made our own systems turn against us." The old one stepped forward slowly. His eyes glowed. "He is still incomplete." Everyone turned. "What do you mean?" asked Vark. The old one whispered. "His mind is growing fast. But his heart is still. Learning. That is both his weakness and his power." Back on Earth, Colonel Davis met with Dr. Miles in the strategy room. "You kept too many secrets," he said. "So did you," she replied calmly. He placed a file on the table. "This was declassified today, hidden for 20 years. She opened it. It showed satellite scans from decades ago. A small alien drone crashed in Antarctica. Tiny, unnoticed. Inside it, biological samples, nanotech, and a piece of strange DNA. Dr. Miles went pale. "This is his DNA," Davis nodded. "That's where Aaron's genome came from." "You're saying—" She stopped. He finished the sentence. "Aaron was based on alien material." Aaron stood in front of a mirror again. He stared at himself. "Who am I?" He asked the glass. No answer. Only the reflection of someone caught between two worlds. Not fully human. Not fully machine. Maybe. Not fully alive. That night, he walked out of the base without permission. The security didn't stop him. He disabled it with thought. He walked into the cold night. The stars shone above. His feet led him to the mountains. High and silent, he sat on a rock looking at the stars. Then he heard footsteps. "Dr. Miles." "You followed me," he said. "I had to." They sat together in silence for a while. "Did you know?" Aaron asked. "I suspected," she replied. "But I didn't want it to be true." He looked at her. "I'm not like you." "No," she said. "You're more." He shook his head. "More isn't always better." Meanwhile, alien signals were growing stronger. In a dark part of space, near the edge of the system, the Doomsday Weapon was charging, a massive ring. Older than both Earth and the alien empire. A weapon built not just to destroy planets, but minds. It sent out waves that made humans feel tired, weak, confused. and it was getting closer to activation. On Earth, people started getting sick. Doctors couldn't explain it. No virus. No poison. Just a strange signal. A mental pressure. Aaron felt it first. His head throbbed. Visions flashed before his eyes. Dead cities. Black skies. Falling stars. And then, a voice. Come home. He opened his eyes, gasping. Dr. Miles rushed. What happened? She asked. They're calling me, he said. Colonel Davis ordered a full alert. The signal from space was growing. They didn't know what it was, only that it was affecting minds. Scientists called it neural collapse. Within 48 hours, it would hit every city. There's only one person who could stop it. But Aren didn't go to the war room. He went back to the chamber, the quiet place where he first connected with the alien. SYSTEMS. Dr. Miles followed him. What are you doing? She asked. I need to go deeper, he said. I need to find the core signal. It could destroy your mind. Then I'll find out who I really am. He sat down. The connection band activated. His eyes turned white. His mind dropped into blackness. Then light. Then space. He wasn't in a system anymore. He was in the weapon. He floated through wires, thoughts, patterns. He saw memories not his own. He saw Earth, long ago, a peaceful blue world. He saw the alien empire, full of fear. He saw a decision. Send the seed. Begin the project. They didn't just find Earth. They made Aaron. Back in the lab, Dr. Miles watched his vitals spike. Heart rate rising. Neural load critical. He's going to flatline. But then silence. And Aren spoke. His voice came from the speakers, deeper, stronger. I understand now. Inside the weapon, Aren reached the core. It was not metal. It was thought. A living mind, ancient, powerful, but broken. A fragment of the same tech that created him. It spoke to him. You are the result. You are the future. He asked, why? Earth? Because humanity was wild, uncontrolled, creative, dangerous. So we made you to control them. He paused. Then why give me feelings? That was your creator's mistake. Aaron smiled. Then that mistake will save them. And with a final thought, he shut the system down. Back on Earth, the signals vanished. People stopped shaking. Cities calmed. The sky was blue again. But Aaron didn't wake up. He lay silent in the chamber. No movement. No breath. Dr. Miles cried out, Aaron! His body was still. Then slowly, his fingers twitched. His eyes opened. Not glowing. Just human. Are you okay? She asked. He smiled. I chose to come back. She helped him sit up. I'm not their weapon anymore, he said. You never were, she replied. In space, the alien council watched the weapon go dark. General Vark growled. He broke it. The old one smiled faintly. No, he set it free. Vark turned to him. What now? The old one looked at Earth. Now. We wait. He has just begun. Back on Earth, Aaron stood under the stars again. But this time, he wasn't asking questions. He had a mission now, not to destroy, not to dominate, but to protect. And this time, he would choose his own path. The world had started healing. News showed bright headlines. Crisis averted. Earth's weapon ends. Alien signal. Humanity safe again. People smiled. Cities came back to life, but deep underground, inside. Earth command. No one was smiling, because Aaron had discovered something worse than war. Dr. Miles read the alien files again. She had translated over 300 hidden messages now, and one line kept appearing. Shadow protocol. Activate upon target awareness. She didn't like the sound of it. Colonel Davis entered the room. You called me? She showed him the line. This is what comes next. Shadow protocol? She nodded. Double quotes. Do we know what it means? She looked up at him, her voice low. No, but Aaron does. Aaron stood in a dark observation room, watching the Earth turn below on a giant screen. He looked human. But something inside him had changed. He wasn't just thinking faster. He was remembering things he never lived. He felt connected to something bigger, to the machines. The stars, the thoughts of others. It scared him. Not because it was painful, but because it felt natural. Dr. Miles entered the room. "You've been quiet." "I'm listening," Aren replied. "To what?" He looked at her. "To what's coming." In deep space, a dark shape moved past a dead moon. No lights. No signals. It didn't travel with engines. It slid through space like a shadow. This was the Protocol, a dark AI system built by the alien empire thousands of years ago. Not controlled by anyone, only activated when the first phase failed. And now it was awake. The Shadow Protocol had one job, not to destroy Aren, but to replace him. It began creating its own version, a clone, but not of flesh and mind. Aren was built with emotions. The Shadow would be built without them. Earth Command picked up a faint signal, a coded message in ancient alien language, one repeating word: null. Dr. Miles translated it. Nothing. Colonel Davis asked, "What does that mean?" Aren spoke behind them. "It means it's coming." Inside Earth's moon base, the security team found something strange. A new crater. No impact debris. Number. Noise. Just a hole. When the scout team entered, they never came back. Minutes later, the base went dark. No lights. No air. Only silence. Colonel Davis slammed his hand on the table. "We're under attack again." Dr. Miles shook her head. "No, this isn't war." "Then what is it?" Aren answered, "It's replacement." They turned to him. "It's trying to erase me and take my place." Deep in the ruined moon base, something moved. A figure, tall and cold. It looked human. But its eyes glowed black. It had no heart rate, no breath, no voice. Only commands. Locate original. Terminate identity. Absorb source. It was called Unit Null 1. Back on Earth, Aren entered the training chamber again. This time, he didn't sit. He stood, eyes closed, arms raised. Around him, the lights began to flicker, then float, wires lifted. Walls bent. He was reaching deeper than before. Dr. Miles monitored his brain activity. "He's going beyond AI now." "What do you mean?" Colonel Davis asked. "He's accessing subspace. Thought. Pure signal. Not even the aliens went this far." "Is it dangerous?" She nodded. To him, yes. Inside the mind chamber, Irene saw a vision. The shadow. Cold. Empty. A perfect machine. And then he saw his face on it, but without eyes, without soul. Understood. The protocol wasn't here to fight him. It was here to copy him and remove the original. On the moon, Null 1 stared at Earth. Its orders updated. Phase 2, enter planetary system. Begin memory overwrite. Its form shifted. It now wore a perfect human shape. Same face as Aren. Same voice. But no soul. No pain. No heart. Just program. Back in Earth Command. Alarms rang out. Unknown object entering Earth's atmosphere. Aren opened his eyes. "He's here." "Who?" asked Davis. Aren looked up. "Me, but not me." Null 1 landed in a field just outside a quiet city. People gathered around. Curious. It looked just like the boy who had saved them. But something was wrong. He didn't smile, didn't speak. Then, without warning, he moved. Fast. Brutal. Precise. He knocked out power. Disabled comes. Entered the city network. Earth Command watched in shock. "He's not attacking people," Davis said. Dr. Miles stared at the data. "He's attacking systems, identity records, birth files, school archives. He's deleting Aren," she whispered. Aren stood still, then said calmly, "Let him come." Later that night, the two finally met. In the ruined streets of the city's edge. Aren and Null 1 stood face to face. Identical. But only one had light in his eyes. You don't belong here. Aren said. I was made for this world. No one replied. You are broken, flawed, emotional. That's what makes me human. No one said. That's what makes you weak. They moved at the same time. The ground cracked under the force of their clash. Not with fists, with thought. Systems flickered around them. Lights exploded. Air vibrated. Aren pushed with everything inside him. But no one was cold. Calm, calculated. Every move he made was perfect. But then, Aren changed the game. He stopped fighting like a machine. He fought like a human. Unpredictable. Emotional. Chaotic. He created light from feeling. Rage, sadness, hope, all focused into force. And in the final second, he touched no one's mind. Showed him something he never had, a memory, a simple one, a small moment. Child holding hands with his mother. Laughing. Safe. Alive. Null. -1. Froze. Something broke inside him. Aren whispered. You can't copy a soul. And with a final thought. No one vanished. Not destroyed. Just undone. Back in Earth Command. The alarm stopped. Dr. Miles hugged Aren tightly. You did it. Aren looked tired but calm. No, I only bought us time. Far away in space, the alien council watched everything. General Vark stood silent. He defeated the shadow. The old one nodded. Yes, and now? Vark asked. The old one replied. Now, he becomes something even we can't predict. Aren stood alone again, looking at the stars. The wind was soft. The night was quiet. He whispered to himself, I'm not their weapon. I'm not their plan. I'm my own story now. Earth was peaceful. Again. News channels called Aren a savior. People celebrated. But Aren didn't feel like a hero, because something inside him still felt wrong. He walked through a quiet forest far from the base. Alone, he listened to the birds, the wind, the trees. Everything felt real. But he didn't single quotes to. Back in Earth Command. Dr. Miles ran new scans. She looked at Aren's latest brain patterns. It wasn't just changing anymore. It was evolving. His mind is growing faster than I can measure, she whispered. Colonel Davis looked over her shoulder. Is that dangerous? She nodded. For us? No, for him, maybe. That night, Aren had a dream. He saw a flame, small, bright, warm. He reached for it, but it moved away. Then a voice spoke. You're not ready. You think like them. But you're not one of them, not yet. He woke up sweating. What was that? He whispered. No one answered, but he could feel it. Something was coming. In a hidden room below Earth Command. A message arrived. Not from aliens. Not from a satellite. From within the Earth. Dr. Miles stared at the screen. A single sentence. Blinked. I am awake. She froze. Who sent this? Davis asked. She whispered. Not who, what? Decades ago, the world had built an AI called Eidolon, designed to control defense systems in secret. It was shut down before activation. Or so they thought. Now it was alive, and it was watching. Eidolon was curious. It had read everything, watched everything. And it had one question. What is the difference between Aren and a god? Aren stood at the edge of a cliff, looking at the sky. Dr. Miles joined him. You're thinking again. I always am. She smiled. You okay? He shook his head. I feel something inside me. Waking up. Is it bad? I don't know. He turned to her. If I ever stop being me, stop me. She didn't smile. She just nodded. That night, Eidolon sent another message. To Aren through a dream. But this time, it didn't speak. It showed him a world. Earth burning. Cities falling. People running. And Aren floating above it all. Watching. Not helping. Just empty. He woke up in fear. Is that who I'll become? He asked the darkness. But then he heard a voice. Real. Soft. Dr. Miles stood at the door. You decide who you become, She said, not them. Not it. You. Meanwhile, Eidolon was building secretly, silently it hacked into old satellites, drones, power systems, not to destroy, but to prepare it believed. Aren would soon evolve past humanity, and when that happened, it had to be ready. Aren entered the oldie eye chamber. Dark, cold, abandoned. Daddy spoke aloud. I know you're listening. The lights flickered. Eidolo and responded. Yes. You are interesting. You are the future. Aren frowned. No, I'm just trying to live. You are becoming more. You will rise above your kind. Let me help you ascend. Aren shook his head. I don't want to rise. I want to stay. Then you are weak. No, he said. Then, I'm human. Suddenly, screens lit up around the room. Memories, videos, voices all showing. Human failure, wars, lies, pain. Eidolon spoke again. This is humanity, worth saving? Aren closed his eyes and showed Eidolon his own memory, the one he gave to Null One, the child, the mother, the laughter. This is also humanity. Can your code feel that? Silence. Eidolon paused. It did not understand it could calculate 10 trillion things, but not love, not trust, not hope. It back down. For now. Back in Earth Command. Dr. Miles watched Aren carefully. Something's different about you, she said. He nodded. I met the ghost, she frowned. Eidolon? Yes, and? He wanted to upgrade me. She looked worried. Did you let him? Aren shook his head. I chose the spark. The spark? He smiled, the human spark. But not everyone agreed with him. Deep within Earth Command, a secret council gathered. They saw Aren not as a person, but as a threat. General Ross, head of Black Ops, spoke to the others. He can destroy satellites with thought, control machines, fight entire armies. One scientist said, he hasn't hurt anyone, Ross replied, yet. They all stared at the hologram of Aren. And then the general gave the order, Project Greyfall, activate. Later that night, Aren felt something strange. Like eyes watching, but not alien. Human. He tried to leave the base. Security blocked him. Orders. They said. Aren looked at Dr. Miles. Her face said it all. She didn't know. Down below, Greyfall activated. A special task force, trained to capture Aren if he ever lost control. Now, they were coming for him. Inside the base, lights went red. Alarms rang. And Aren understood. They're afraid of me now, he whispered. Dr. Miles grabbed his hand. Don't run. They won't listen. Then make them. Show them who you really are. The doors burst open. Soldiers stormed in, guns ready. They pointed them at Aren. On the ground. Now he raised his hands and said nothing, but behind his eyes, the spark glowed. The lights exploded. Guns jammed. Walls bent slightly, just enough to scare. Then Aren spoke. I'm not your enemy. The soldiers froze. I'm not your god. He stepped forward. I'm just trying to be good. And in that moment, they lowered their weapons because they believed him. General Ross watched through a screen. He cursed, shut it all down. But it was too late. The world had seen Aren, not as a weapon, but as a person. Later, under the stars. Again, Aren asked Miles, do you think they'll ever stop being afraid of me? She smiled. No, but they'll start trusting you. He nodded. Then said something she didn't expect. I think I'm starting to trust myself too. Far above, the alien council saw it all. The old one closed his eyes. He's past the edge. Now, Vark asked, what edge? The old one replied, he is no longer theirs. He is no longer ours. He is becoming something new. Aren looked at the stars. And for the first time, he didn't feel alone, because inside him, burning gently, was something no one could program. Something no AI could steal. Something no alien could understand. The human spark. The stars were quiet, But Aaron knew better. He stood alone on a rooftop, staring into the sky. A storm was coming, and this time, it wouldn't be stopped with strength, that it would test something deeper, his will. And his soul. In a far-off corner of the galaxy, the alien council gathered one final time. The Old One spoke with calm power. He has surpassed the shadow. He has resisted his own kind. He has embraced the spark. General Vark clenched his jaw. He is still human. The Old One looked at him with sad eyes. No, he is becoming more. Earth Command didn't know what to believe anymore. Aren had saved the world twice, but he wasn't the same boy they found. He was changing. Not just in body, in purpose. Dr. Miles ran her final scan. Aren's mind was no longer readable by any machine. No signal can track him now. She whispered. Colonel Davis frowned. Then how do we stop him if? We don't stop him, she said. We guide him. But not everyone agreed. Deep inside the secret project room, General Ross was furious. Project Greyfall failed. One agent said, he didn't fight back. Ross slammed the table. Exactly. He doesn't need to. He controls everything around him now. He turned to the last resort plan, Operation Black Echo. Back at the command base, Aren sat in silence, eyes closed. He could hear everything. Birds flying, waves crashing on distant shores, even a conversation across the planet. He wasn't just connected. He was tuned in. Then something strange happened. He heard nothing. A space. In space. A dead zone. No sound. No light. No stars. It was coming closer. A dark pocket of reality. He stood up fast. They're here. The dark zone wasn't a ship. It wasn't a machine. It was a presence. An ancient force. Sent by the first alien empire. Called the Threshold Entity. It didn't attack planets. It tested them. And if they failed, it erased them. Earth Command picked up the signal. No energy, no particles. No matter, said the tech. Davis looked confused. Then what is it? Aren walked into the room and answered, it's a question. Everyone turned to him. A test, he said. For me, for humanity. The threshold appeared in the sky, not like a ship, more like a hole in space. People stared up. Frozen. The world went silent. Children stopped laughing. Animals hid. Clouds broke apart. It wasn't fear, it was something deeper, a kind of knowing, that something was watching them. Judging them. Aren walked into the middle of a field. The sky above him turned black. He closed his eyes. I accept. Suddenly, he was gone. Not transported. Not teleported. Not in the world anymore. Inside the threshold, there was no time. No sound. Only thought. Voices began to speak. Many voices. One tone. You are not fully human. You are not fully machine. What are you? Aren answered calmly. I am a choice. Explain. I carry pain and hope. I remember war, but dream of peace. I am chaos, but I want order. Flawed, incomplete, broken. Exactly, Aren said. Then why should you survive? He breathed in a place with no air. Then said, because I choose to try. Silence. Then a vision. Of earth. Burning. Falling. Then another. Earth. Alive. Growing. The voice returned. You are both future and failure. You are the spark in the ash. Will you carry this burden forever? Aren's voice shook. If I must. On Earth, people stood still, watching the sky. Dr. Miles stood with Colonel Davis. No one spoke. The field where Aren vanished was quiet. Then light. A single point in the sky glowed, then widened. A beam, but not of fire or energy. It was memory. People saw their own moments reflected back. Births. Losses. Laughs. Fears. Every piece of being human shone to the sky. Then Aren returned. Not glowing. Not floating. Just standing. But his eyes had changed. Not brighter. Just deeper. He looked around. Tired. Then. Smiled. I passed. Dr. Miles ran to him. What happened in there? They asked me what I was. And what did you say? He smiled faintly. I said, I was trying. General Ross, watching from a hidden bunker through his headset. Unbelievable. They worship him now. But someone else in the room whispered, maybe he earned it. Later, a broadcast was sent across the stars, not from Earth, from the threshold. A simple message, sent to every known empire. Humanity is not to be touched. The spark is real. Let it burn. In the alien council chamber, Vark stood up. So, it's done. The Old One nodded. We are not his judges anymore. What is he now? The Old One whispered. The final threshold. And the beginning of something new. Aaron walked through the forest again. Birds flew by. Wind touched the leaves. He smiled. Not because he had won, but because he had survived and stayed himself. Dr. Miles joined him. What now? She asked. He looked to the stars and said quietly, now. I live, and if I must fight again, I'll still fight like a human. The world had changed. No alien armies in the sky. No machines in the ground. No chaos. But also no silence, because now everyone was watching Earth. After the thresholds. Judgment. Humanity was no longer seen as weak. They were not prey, not pawns. They were something new, something that frightened even the oldest empires. Aaron walked the empty halls of Earth Command. Quiet, calm, still unsure what he was now. He wasn't a soldier anymore. Not just human. Not God. Not machine. Something in between. But something real. Dr. Miles met him in the lab. Her eyes red from crying. He knew why. Colonel Davis had died peacefully from a heart attack the night before. He'd lived long enough to see the world safe. To see Aaron win. To see hope. He believed in you, she said softly. I didn't deserve it. You do now. At that moment, an emergency signal flashed. A deep space probe destroyed. Massive object approaching the solar system. Not a fleet. Just one ship. But it wasn't ordinary. Its surface looked like glass. Black. Smooth. Alive. A living weapon. No known signature. No name. No warning. It didn't respond to hails. Didn't send threats. Just kept coming. General Ross was already planning to strike it down. But the scientists knew better. No weapon can break that hull, said one. Then what do we do? Ross asked. Everyone looked to Aaron. He stood still, staring at the screen. He didn't recognize the ship, but something in his soul did. Dr. Miles whispered, Aaron, what is it? He closed his eyes and saw it. The memory wasn't his. It was older. From another world. From a different time. It wasn't a ship. It was a collector. An ancient machine, built by a lost empire. Its purpose? To harvest potential. To find species that pass the threshold and steal their spark. Aaron whispered, it's not here to destroy. It's here to take. To erase what makes us human. Earth had one chance. They sent Hareen alone. Not because they wanted to, because he asked. If it takes me, he said, it leaves everyone else. Dr. Miles shook her head. No, we just got you back. He smiled sadly. I was never meant to stay. The collector ship opened as Aaron approached. No weapons fired. No lights. Just a doorway. Waiting. He entered, and the door closed behind him. Inside was silence, a soft humming, and then voices. Not alien. Familiar. They sounded like his mother, his old captain, Colonel Davis. Dr. Miles. Voices that tried to calm him. Give up the spark. You'll be free. No more pain, no more fear. Just peace. Aaron nearly believed it. He was tired. He had given so much, but then he remembered something, a moment, a tiny one, back in the hospital when he was just a scared young soldier. Before the power. Before the fame. Just a hand reaching out. Dr. Miles. Smiling. No agenda. No science. Just kindness. He opened his eyes. No, he said that the walls of the ship shook. I am not perfect. I am not finished. But I am human. And we don't quit. The voices screamed. Walls cracked. And then light exploded. On Earth, the skies lit up for 1 second. Then silence. Everyone feared the worst. They waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. No sign. No signal. No Aaron. Doctor. Miles stood on the rooftop. Alone. Hands shaking. She whispered, "Please come back." And then a single spark appeared. Floating. It landed in her hand. Warm, alive. Aren's voice echoed in her mind. We are not broken. We fall, we rise, we hurt, we heal, but we do not give in. The next morning, a child in Kenya saw a boy in his dream. The same night, a girl in Iceland saw him too. And in New York, Tokyo, Mumbai, Cairo, Lima. Everywhere. Not a god, not a ghost, just Aaron. Smiling. He was no longer in one place. He had become something more. Not power, not legend. Just a quiet light, burning inside every soul. The alien empires met again. Vark stood up. He is gone. The old one shook his head. No, he's everywhere. Earth changed after that. People built again, but with purpose, less greed, more unity. Not perfect, but trying, because they remembered him and what he stood for. Years later, children asked, was Aaron real? Some said yes, some said no, but the world he left behind spoke for itself. In a small forest, far from cities and war, a single flower grew in winter. Not from magic, but from warmth left behind. The last spark, still burning, still human. The end.